if you press.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this first anniversary webinar on how I'm doing this 10K to 100K challenge in hopefully less than 2 years. And so thanks very much for attending. I appreciate you taking the time out to attend this webinar. Obviously, it's going to be recorded, so it is going to be going up onto our website anyway and joining the other webinars that we've done in this series. I don't know when I'll next do the next one. Maybe I'll just leave it until next year, or maybe in 6 months' time. I don't want to be doing them all of the time. I want to be left alone to continue with the trading on this account. Now, I appreciate that we've got people who are already members of the Easy Trader community here, and we've also got people here who are not members of the Easy Trader community. So the two different circles, groups of traders that are here in attendance tonight are going to be getting different things probably from this webinar. So without further ado, let's go straight in. If I can, what have I done that now? And what I'll say is, if you do have questions as I'm going along, you're just going to have to appreciate I'm not going to really be able to answer too much as I'm going along, but certainly we're going to have questions we can take at the end. So if you put comments in, I'm not going to be able to just cover them now. I'll have to come back to them at the end, so just bear with us on that. There's a lot of information I'm going to be talking through. Please bear with it. We've got there's lots of different phases that I've put into this presentation, right way through to the very last slide. So some things will be really appropriate to you, and others may not be. But if you're already a member of Easy Trader and you've already got our material and everything else. So let's see if I can get this working now. This was okay. So we're going to go through this introduction, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what's coming up, and then we can then take it from there. So if I can get this working, bear with me. Okay. So first of all, we've got the challenges, how this has worked out. Actually, before that, we've got a backstory. Then we've got the market conditions, what I felt has been good over this past year. The year anniversary, by the way, comes up next week, so we're a little bit early, but I'm away next week, so we wanted to do it. It would have been perfect to have done it next Thursday, because that would have been the 1 year anniversary, but unfortunately we couldn't. What's been good? A little bit about this BBC Two documentary, for those of you that aren't already aware of that. Obviously the account run through, and then what traders need to do to achieve similar types of success as to what I'm attempting to do here. So that's what we're up to. Okay, so let's crack on with, to start off with, I guess my personal journey. I just wanted to start off with a bit of a story there about what's happened to me, going back all the way back to the beginning, because not everybody here, there's always new people, and actually what I've done is I've put some extra information in here, which even people who have sort of heard Kim's and my story over the years, there's extra bits here that that I've never shared before, so I'm going through tonight. So when we started trading, I was in my mid-20s. I was a nice, handsome young buck. Well, Kim would obviously beg to differ on that, and he's probably right. But anyway, so I was a young guy in my 20s, very aggressive in that I was very career hungry, like a lot of people when you're younger, wanted to do well financially, and was already in a good career. So I can't say that I wasn't having a good time for my career anyway. But then one day a friend of mine offered me a ticket, and this ticket was to go to a training course learning how to trade the equity markets using options. So I was given this free ticket from a friend who was actually a customer of mine, a client of mine, and just as luck would have it, Kim was going to that same seminar as well. So we went together. Actually, I think there was about 4 of us that went on that course, and it was a 4-day training course that we went on with about 1,000 other people, loads and loads of people there, with a big American company, lots of rah-rah and lots of feel-good factor stuff that was going on. And we came out of that course thinking that we that it was just going to be really straightforward. I mean, I must admit, I thought, wow, what an amazingly easy way to make money. This is going to be so straightforward. I'll just do this for a couple of years on the side, and then I'll probably just quit my job and retire and just carry on trading. I'm sure some of you have felt that before, maybe certainly in your early days, certainly with some of the course providers that are out there with some of the hype that they may give you. So yeah, I mean, we felt that as well. But really, how much did we really know? Well, that's debatable. But I was lucky enough to start off with a decent starting pot, and but of course, life wasn't always going to be massively easy. But I had a decent starting pot. Kim and I had learned a bit. We thought we knew a lot. How little did we know at that stage? Because you don't know, especially when you've been on a course where they're more selling you other courses. You don't realise that than anything else. So, but things actually did go quite well. We were trading in the 90s. Markets were going up, and quickly took that 40k up to, well, over a period of I think it was about 6 months, up to 250k. And I'm thinking, no, this is straightforward. Oh yeah, I'll give it another 6 months to be up at about 1 million, and then I'll take a decision as to whether I'm going to quit my job. Having said that, I loved my job. I wasn't one of these people who didn't enjoy their career, because I did, and so that wasn't my intention when I got into this to actually become a trader. It was more just to do it on the side. But anyway, I was doing quite well in those first couple of months, and I even said to my parents and one of my sisters, look, I'll trade some of your money for you. Look, I've already turned this 40k into whatever it was at that stage. Look, I'll help. I'm here to help you as well, and let me trade some of your money. And so I did that, and I think my mum and dad put about 20k in, and I remember it, Kim. I remember we got them up to 56k within that first 6 months, along with my money. And I said, look, when we get to 60k, why don't you take 40k out, and then I'll just play with the rest, sort of thing. And needless to say, it never actually got to 60k, because it got to 56, and then things changed. And because things were going so well, I thought that I truly believed that risk management didn't actually apply to me, because I genuinely thought that maybe I was different. I thought Kim and I, we're above average intelligence people. How hard can this be? Look, this how easy this is. And I thought that I'd already mastered the markets, and I thought I was Superman. And I'm sure a number of you have experienced that feeling, that emotion at some point in your early days, when very early on, maybe you have a little bit of beginner's luck and you think, God, this is so easy, or you think it's going to be easy, and that and you're different and you'll do things differently to anyone else. And that's how I felt. And then one day I decided to put a little trade on Dell computers, and a lot of you know the rest of that. Basically over the coming, I think it was about 9 months. These are all options plays, long-term option plays. That 250 reduced down to about 1,000, and it was only once it got down that low that I finally had to admit defeat and close out of my final option contracts. So it was a long process of seeing that capital just depreciate, and I was only a young trader at the time, and didn't know enough, and learned a big mistake there. But do you know what? It was like a massive burden had been lifted once I finally decided to close out. Not that I could do much with that 1,000. I had to regroup. Fortunately, I was working, but yeah, so I couldn't do much with it. But it was still like a big burden had been lifted at that stage. So I didn't trade for a couple of months after that. Just took some time off. But I didn't think that I'd ever stop trading, because I thought, look, I turned that 40 into 250. Yes, okay, I was over leveraged. Of course I was. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know about risk management. I was way over geared, and but at the same time, I at least tasted success, and I felt that I could go back and do that at a later date. So I dusted myself down. And here I was, a little bit changed from my earlier photograph, dusted myself off and got back to it. And this is where the learning really began. So it was a case of, right, okay, we've really got to start again. And and that's what happens to, I guess, lots of traders. And I did all the things that traders do. I took my profits too soon, and you think, oh, look, all this, whatever money it may be when you're taking your profits too soon. And then, of course, you realize that actually, if you take your profits too soon on your trades, then as soon as you have a losing trade come along, then it wipes out all of those profits, and then you go through that whole fear process, where you're so scared of actually losing. You have this fear of loss, because your losses so often are bigger than your winners, and you get a bit trapped in that cycle. And I'm sure a lot of you have been there as well. And both Kim and I have both been in that very cycle, and that's why we can talk about it so well. So we've all been there. And so, but of course, where do we go to from there? It's quite often takes several phases or several cycles of going from greed to fear, taking profits too soon, all of those things. Big, nice long periods of winners followed by short periods of losers, before you finally get it and realize that you can't trade that way, because you're going to continue to be in a cycle. So was my journey easy? I think we can all say no, not really. I had to adapt over the years to the different market conditions and all of that, but no, it wasn't an easy journey in that early period. Like for most traders, it's not. And remember, Kim and I didn't have the guidance from anyone. We just had to do everything ourselves, and the cost as well. It cost us. It was costing us about £20,000 a year in information and charts and all this other things we used to have to subscribe to, because everything costs so much. Then, like most of that stuff now, you can get for free. But what has my trading given me? Well, that's a different question. I would say that it has given me a great deal of experience and a very, very thick skin. If you don't develop a thick skin, then you're not going to cut it as a trader. And that experience is just everything, because it doesn't matter about strategies, setups. Obviously, they are important, but unless you've got that mental resolve, then you're always going to struggle, and that's such a big thing. So to me, I would always say it's that developing that thick skin that's been so important. So there's been plenty of occasions when trading has tested my resolve, where you actually think, do you know what? Am I really cut out for this? And you think, okay, well, I don't know. Maybe I should quit. Is this my reality? I should walk around in my dress there around in the house, sometimes thinking that maybe I'm just a real failure. This is my reality. My reality is actually constant losses. But you have to go through that, and you do come out the other end if you persevere for long enough. Because there have been times when I've wanted to quit. Of course there have. That's just natural. But could I have become one of the many that did quit? Yeah, of course. I think that's something that a lot of traders will get to a certain stage and ask themselves that question. But for me, it was a case of, well, no, I'm too determined to succeed at this. And so, yes, it took those few years at the beginning to actually become successful. So. And even after you become successful, you taste a little bit of success, but you still make mistakes along the way, and we still make mistakes to this day. That's just, we're all humans, and so it's not about being perfect on every trade, but it's about being able to manage your losses, manage your winners, and ultimately then the difference between the two is what makes you your gains. So what actually has it given me? Well, I would say that it's given me a lifestyle. And that's to me what's been most important. It's could I have stayed working for an city institution like I was? Yes, I could have done. But what this has given me is that ability to be able to, on a nice sunny day, if I've made money by 9 AM, I can go out and cut the grass. And I cut the grass yesterday actually. But and just having a lifestyle where you can sometimes make money before most people have even arrived at work, and that is something which is quite amazing with trading. And also, it's a lifestyle where you can say, okay, I can take time off here because I've done this and this from my trading, or that to me was what was most important. So that's what the first thing that came into my head when someone asked me. I think it was when the BBC were with me, and they asked me what they'd given me. That was the first thing that came into my head. Not necessarily the money, even though obviously the money is the initial goal, of course. And I guess that's interesting that most traders think about how much money they can make before they think about the setups and the risk. And it's the same with the lifestyle. Of course, the money helps you have the lifestyle, but you have to just focus on the trading. For example, with this challenge that I'm doing, as we get further through and I go through the run-through, if I only focused on the end result of turning 10K into 100K, it would probably give me too much pressure to try and achieve it. Whereas on a day-to-day basis, I'm not thinking about it, and so I'm more likely to just get on with the setups that are in hand and trade those, and not think about that end goal. The end goal's there, of course, it's in the background, but I'm not focused on it on a day-to-day basis, because otherwise it just puts too much pressure. And I think traders can put too much pressure on themselves in that way. Yes, you've got to have goals, put them into your plan, but then you've got to get on with what's in front of you in your screen, on your screen, on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. Okay, so like I said, it's the lifestyle. So this webinar is about how I was looking to turn that 10K into 100K, and as I'm approaching that 1 year mark, how we're actually getting on. And I couldn't have done this challenge without the skills and strategies that I've developed and use on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, all traders have to have skills and strategies, but too many traders underestimate or just plain ignore the mental skills that are required. And I know that I talk about these a lot because I've already said it. Strategies you need to have, but it's the mental strength that, like I said, that thick skin, that experience that really come through, and that to me is what's so important. You can't have one without the other, basically. Okay, so yeah, okay, so there's the and it just comes back down to discipline, doesn't it? So as always, okay, right. So now, talking of discipline, as an aside, a lot of you know this, but some of you won't know this, but as an aside, I took a physical challenge at the end of last year. I started it really at the end of last year, although we did have to go over Christmas. And that challenge was a goal of being the fittest I've ever been at the age of 41. My brother-in-law has a gym down in London, bespoke personal training gym, and he said, look, he said, I'll get you to the fittest you've ever been. And I'm thinking, great, okay, fitter than I was in my 20s when I used to compete in karate, used to fight overseas for England, and you know, when I was fit in my 20s. But this was more all-round fitness and health fitness as well. So I thought, yeah, okay, let's go for it. And he said, look, he said, and probably we'll put you into, I've got relationships with some of the like men's health magazines and all those. He said, I'll get you in those and we'll do a story about it, you know, about you being fitness at 40 and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, great, okay, I'll do it. And but again, it's all about discipline. And I managed to go from 15% body fat to just 3.3% just 3 weeks ago. Today, actually, I was at 3.3%. Not 3.3% anymore because I have had 1 or 2 cakes since then in celebration. But needless to say, it's all about the discipline and the focus, and it relates back to the trading. So there was the before and after shots. I'm just going to quickly whiz through these just so you can get an idea of what I had to go through. So and the funny thing was, when Richard pitched it to Men's Health magazine, they actually turned it down to say it's too extreme because I was quite vascular, and Rich wanted me quite vascular. But they said, no, this is just too extreme for our readers, as you know, they like nice, healthy bodies sort of thing. But you've gone too far. But I was quite happy because they got me at that gym. I'm the leanest client they've ever had. I've got to the leanest amount that they've ever had from any client. I'm not at that level anymore, even though it's only 3 weeks ago. You can't, it's quite difficult to stay at 3.3% if you want to actually have a social life. So and this was the photograph taken. This was the most important one, taken just after the photo shoot. where I had 4 puddings after a big steak dinner, and it was tremendous. And but the thing with this was it was just another challenge, another thing to say, okay, can I do this? Can I show our traders, just what you can do with having the discipline. You've got to have the discipline when it comes to trading, but then there's also other aspects of your life as well, and just to show that you can achieve anything basically. And I'm a big believer in that that old cliche, but it's true, and that was how I felt about that. Okay, so like I said, it's a good example of applying that challenge, that discipline, and it was a great So now we're moving on to the challenge over this past year. The challenge over the past year, we're practically 12 months on. I started it I was on about the 27th, I think it was, of March last year, and the first few months were lots of day trades, or plenty of day trades, 2 to 3 day trades a day, all the way through to sort of late July. And then August, we had the doldrums, as we always so often have in August. And then so you're not day trading too much because the markets can go quite dead in the holiday period. But then we have this sort of hangover, and for those of you that have seen the previous webinars, I talked about this in the October webinar, and we had this sort of hangover for my style of trading at least, which really affected the markets all the way through into sort of middle of October. But as a trader, again, that thick skin, that experience is what helps you go through those patches when the markets just aren't delivering much. And I always say that actually, out of 12 months, you make your money in 8 to 10 of those 12 months every year. You don't necessarily make your money in all 12 months because trading is like buses. It comes in patches, and so you get really rich seams, and then you get periods where the markets are a bit dull, or maybe you're on holiday yourself and you're not trading. So anyway, so that we had that period. But again, a younger trader, so to speak, would be susceptible during periods like that when the markets might be a bit dull, because they'll get frustrated and then start forcing their will onto the market and making mistakes, and then it costing them money. So, but anyway, so no, I just treaded water during that period, and then it picked up as we got into that latter part of October through November and December. Picked up, so I was starting to get a few more trades here and there, but still not as many as in the beginning, but certainly getting more trades. But for me personally, I'm quite happy to trade and also to not trade. I'm quite happy to sit there and say, do you know what, there's just not enough, it's just not right for me at the moment, so I'm just going to sit back and I won't trade today, and I'll take a whole day of just not trading. I'll watch the markets just in case, but I don't need to trade every day, because I can make my weekly target in the space of a couple of days if I have 2 good days. So I never feel the pressure to try and hit targets in that regard, because of my risk reward is generally quite good, and if I get a good runner, then that can pretty much make the week. So what's been great over that period all the way through to recently is, well, all of it's been good, but what's been great out of it is that probably when we had the doldrums was that the swing trading made up for the lack of day trades. So applying those elements to that has really helped. Okay, so this BBC documentary, so the BBC sort of approached me back in whenever it was, a few months ago, and they're doing this two-part documentary on traders. Part 1 is going to be on institutional traders down in the city, and they've already done a lot of filming with those guys. Part 2 is on traders who trade from home, and so they wanted to get the comparisons between the city guys who just work for big institutional banks and the guys who put their own money to work. And so they've got in part 2, I'm in that part of that documentary, along with a few others that they've got in that documentary from a variety of backgrounds. And so they were interested. They'd heard about the challenge that I was doing, and this challenge, and I had a chat with them, and we had a good conversation on my overall views on the markets and on traders and all of that sort of stuff. Anyway, so long story short, they came out, they did some filming here, they filmed for about 8 hours on a particular day, and what they found interesting was that they said, my God, we've just spent all this time with these city guys, and they get really emotional still, not massively like you think screaming and shouting, but they still be more emotional when news events come out or released. She said, but when we've been here with you, everything's very methodical. There's no TVs on in the background, just nice and very quiet and relaxed. And I put a trade on in the morning, and we were in the kitchen whilst they wanted to film me cooking. Oh, it was a nightmare. So they were fascinated with the physical challenge I was doing, but yeah, that was the big comparison. They said, cracky, we can really see your discipline here. And so they sort of nicknamed me Mr. Discipline because they filmed me here trading, and then I won that trade off recently at the Forex show, and I was applying the same principles there as well. And so they sort of nicknamed me this Mr. Discipline, especially with the whole food and the diet and the training as well. And so I'm hoping that it's going to come out as a reasonable, a pretty decent documentary actually. And I think that a lot of people are going to be interested in it because it's showing both worlds. And within the part 2, they've got me being Mr. Discipline. They've got another couple who sit and trade off of their bed all day long or something. I don't know. So you've got a completely a wide disparity of a wide range of traders who are going to be covered within that. And oh yeah, and here's the picture of them when they were filming at the gym. So they wanted to come down and film the photo shoot as well, so they were there for that as well. So it's going to be quite interesting, and hopefully, I think Rachel was interviewed when we were down in the gym, so hopefully she's they'll have something on with her as well. So but it's all good. It's good for the trading, the market in general. It'll introduce more people to trading, and I think hopefully it casts a good light on trading. Not all of it, because certainly there are some darker pools within the trading community, which I have discussed openly with the BBC, and so hopefully they'll cover some of that as well. All right, here we are. So we're on to the account run through. Right, okay, so let's bring it up. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, okay, so I've got it. I've taken it back to where we started. So this is exactly the same as when we started the webinar. So this is where I started, and this is where we started when we did the webinar 1. Because I know that there's some people here today who weren't here. So it started actually, it was 8,000, just over 8,000 in the account, because that was the leftover amount that I had in this account anyway. So let's run through this, and I knew it was roughly $10,000. So because the way I started this was because I was doing a webinar for some Americans, so I titled it 10,000 because I knew it was about $10,000. Right, okay, so this is just, I'm just going to scroll through all of the trades as you see it go through. I'm not going to stop all, but what I want to show you as we go through is that there are plenty of winners and plenty of losers as well. It's not all about winners, although I can have some rich teams and have some nice winning trades and winning periods. There's plenty of losing trades in there as well, and the account just sort of grew steadily. Then there'll be some flat spots, certainly some flat spots once we get past August, but you can see it was just gradually moving up, and then there'll be some flat periods. I think during September it just probably just sort of sat around 25, 24, 25, all the way through to October. And the thing by me showing you this is that I'm showing you all of the trades that have gone through. Now, don't think that I've done 100 trades on the 28th of October here, or sorry, 24th of October here. It's just that I have to break my trades down into individual elements. So there'll be different. There will be different trades. You see, you've got euro dollar, dollar yen. Oh, it actually looks like it's, oh no, that's the 24th there. So Aussie dollar, euro dollar, dollar yen. But they're broken down into multiples. So I'm trying to see. So we've got dollar yen here. That would have all probably been, yeah, it's all on the 24th, the same trade. So there was four multiples there, probably all the same trade. It looks like, well, I don't know what that was then. Must have been a break-even stop out by looks of things, because it was so close to zero. But anyway, the main point is that you can see that I have the gains and I have the losses as well. So then we got into November, we're up at 28,000 by just a few months ago, and then we have some losers. And the main thing is that I'm showing you my account, and there's very few traders that will be willing to actually show you the account that they're trading with to demonstrate and show you all the trades as they've gone through. They'll just say, put it on a spreadsheet and say, yes, and look, and this is how much I made. Yeah, right, okay. Actually show all of the trades on a real account and see how that count's going on. Okay, so you can see that, yeah, plenty of losers and winners, but along the way until we're getting there. So we're into January at 30, 32, right up to, where do we get to? 38. So now, okay, so this is where I'm up to, 38,000 at the moment. So the goal at the halfway mark, I said it in the October webinar, was to get to around about 40. So I'm slightly under the actual goal. I said in October I'd like to be at 40,000 by the halfway mark. But I don't need, it's not the end of the world. I only need to, let's put this into perspective. I'm up 375% on this account so far. So I've turned a 30,000 profit off an £8,000 account. Yeah, so it's gone into 38,000. That's the equivalent of £50,000 a year salary before tax. So especially if you're spread betting, then yeah. And so to do 375% next year, or over this next year to get it up to 100, then I only need to do about, from where I currently am, around about 130%. Let's put it in perspective. So I've done the hard yards, and I knew that as I was going through this first year. So I'm not too fussed if I'm just sitting just under, and I've had a lot on with all the training the beginning of this year, and so, but anyway, I think hopefully you'll agree that it's still a pretty decent return. And the whole point of this is to demonstrate what people can do. I think that most people, if they were thinking, my God, you know, I could actually, that's the equivalent of £50,000 a year salary, a lot of people would be thinking, yeah, that's not bad off an 8K account. I did this off a smaller account to demonstrate for the majority of traders out there who are starting out or trading with smaller capital and wanting to grow that capital. There was no point in me starting off with putting 100,000 into an account because it's not realistic to 98% of the traders, the retail traders out there. So, and also once you're at 100,000, then do you really need to be making those sort of percentage returns? I don't know. I would hazard a guess that probably not. So it's a lot more realistic there. So that's where I've got to so far, and we'll see how I get on over the next year. But obviously that's only just part and parcel of part of the story, because we need to say, well, okay, well, what do traders need to do in order to replicate this, in order to get to those sort of returns? And I've done these sort of little challenges over the years, but I've never done something for this long, this sustained period. I've done little challenges where I've just seen what I could do over a period of a month, and I think I've even done one over a week several years ago. But to demonstrate this, the whole point for me with this, a bit like the diet, it's all that discipline and showing what you can do, is to say, well, okay, over a sustained period, this is what can be done. And I'm not saying that, you know, there won't be traders out there that can't do more than that. But the difference is actually, I went through this yesterday with the guys in the trading room, the biggest drawdown, the max drawdown that I've had in this year has been 8.4%. So now bear in mind that I was risking up to 5% per trade on certainly in the early trades, but actually when I had that drawdown of 8.4, which was the biggest drawdown I had, I was risking only 2 to 3%. But that's still a tiny drawdown relative to the percentage return that I've made. So a really small. So to me, it's not just about that end result. It's about how I've got there. And you've seen that as I scroll through, nice and steady, ups and downs, winners and losers, but no massive losers there. So I'm trying to demonstrate that you can put in these big returns, but with I'll say minimal, but small in relative terms, very small drawdowns. And this is the big catch. This is what I think is a massive advantage to a discretionary trader, one who's not trading using a system or something like that. Systems will have big drawdown periods. A discretionary trader has that discretion to, and I talked about this at the beginning when we did the webinar in July, you have that discretion to say yes or no. You have that discretion to look at the overall market condition and make other judgments. And that's where it comes back to having a thick skin, having that experience, because that's why I've traded through this with only having very minimal drawdowns relative to the how aggressive the return has been. Anyway, so let's move on. So what do traders need to do in order to replicate this? Well, let's see if I can bring this up. Firstly, they need to work hard. There's no workaround like this, and I know that most people like to buy stuff off the web and find an easy fix and, oh, let's buy this holy grail. And don't get me wrong, there's some great strategies. We've got great strategies, but like I said earlier on, it's about that mindset as well. And without developing both elements of your trading, then you'll only get so far. So hard work first and foremost. That's why I painted that picture of my personal journey. Kim's journey was very similar. Because it did take work. We didn't have guidance, fair enough, but it still took a lot of work in order to get us there. Stop chasing markets. I would say too many traders just want to hop on to different markets all of the time. Whereas I'd say you've got to leave them, let the markets go. If they're going to fly and you haven't already mapped it out and planned out your trades relating to that, let them go. However exhilarating it may be. Yes, you get a buzz from it, but it's that sort of style of trading that, yes, some of those ones work out and you make 200 pips, but then we hear about all the other trades there where people are losing hundreds of pips as well because it's the wrong type of trading. Improve your entries and exits. That always helps. And because if you improve your entries and improve your exits, it means your risk reward is better. Focus. I find that focusing on a smaller number of markets is much better. Too many people want to spread themselves too thinly. Focus. Whatever style of trading it is that you're doing, that's applicable to you and the time frames that you're trading over, because I appreciate that some of you aren't day traders here, some of you may be swing traders, so focusing on a smaller number of markets is usually better as well. Manage your expectations. Don't expect the markets to be great every day or every week. They go through their periods, like I've demonstrated and talked about earlier on. You have to take what the markets are willing to offer, and yet again, what traders tend to do is try to, like I said earlier on, inflict their will onto the market rather than waiting for the market to come to them. They'll be sitting there thinking, well, I haven't had a trade for a few hours or a day or a week, whatever it may be, and then they start getting itchy and frustrated and then start pushing it and taking trades that they wouldn't have otherwise taken. Easier said than done, but again, that all comes back down to that mindset. And properly manage your risk. Don't succumb to trading too big to make back those prior losses, because at some point the market will come and get you, and most of us have been there and done that, but as you've seen, you don't have to have those large drawdowns and in order to get there. So these are the sort of the main things that I'm going through today with regards to the types of qualities that a trader needs to have in order to be successful. Some of you I totally appreciate already are successful. Just some people just to lesser and greater extents, and so I appreciate that. But then there are other people here tonight who are less successful, who maybe are earlier on in their journey. Or maybe they've been on their journey for a bit, but they have still yet to master it, and so that's why I'm going through all these things. And for those people, I would say, well, why not join Easy Trader? Because we've got the skills and we've got those things to be able to help you. So we've got strategies. We've got that great community in our trading room. We've been running for 12 years now, so we've been around for a long time. We're not a fly-by-night. We're going to be featured on this BBC, so this BBC Two program is going to be out in the autumn, by the way. Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier on. So it's not out to the autumn, but we'll let everybody know when that documentary is out. And we're FCA regulated as well on the side to manage money. So across the board, we do have a reasonable amount of credibility. So I appreciate there's a number of you here that are inquiring about Easy Trader at the moment. But it just gets to a point where you say, okay, you've got to make a decision. You've got to move on, and you've got to say to yourself, right, do I want to have the skill sets in order to do something? Maybe not what Charlie's doing, but at least to take control and get consistency in your trading, because we can give you the experience you need, but you need to invest that time now for the skills and that experience in order to trade for the rest of your life, because it's still going to take time, but we can help you. We're not going anywhere. We've been around for 12 years, and we can help you with that for those of you that need it. I appreciate that obviously a lot of you are already members of our trading community. Trading can be lonely, but it doesn't have to be. So there are two main routes that you can use to join us. And this is just a testimonial that was on there from before. The first route is just getting our day trading packages, and that includes our momentum trading setups. So you get all the momentum trading. And all of that's on CD-ROMs. You learn those strategies. The second thing that's added into all of this is the day trading CDs. So you get all of our day trading material in there, the psychology, the strategies, all of the information that's in there, and that includes free access for 6 months into our trading room. That's our community where we're all in there every day, and chatting. Kim and I are on the mics. Kim's on the mic in the morning. I go on in the afternoon. Plus Jackie will be on the mic and others at times. We're having a good chat as we go through the day. It's that guidance and it's that community as you're going through the trading day, which really adds to the value. Plus also, sorry, I haven't put in any screenshots of it, but you also get the finer points CDs as well. So you get all of the theory, and then you get to see the theory on a day-to-day basis being applied in our trading room as we're guiding our way through the markets. But for people who want a little bit more, then you can have our Day Trading Plus. Now, I talked about this in the first webinar. I'm now, I don't know how many months on now, 9 months, 10 months on. But for traders with a minimum of 5,000 trading capital, you can have all of those day trading packages, plus 4 half days one-to-one with me over the next year, over the next 12 months. I can open up this again now. Regular Skype calls to review and improve your trading, and trading with that view to turn something like a 5,000 account into 25,000. That's the idea. So I can get you to having those skill sets to be able to say, do you know what? Yeah, I'm now got the skill sets to be able to take an account up to whatever it may be. So that's a little bit more intense, and as a result, it's a lot more expensive. But for anyone who's interested in that, then you can just either go to this link or you can email Sam at Easy Trader. So I've got a couple of spaces there now available for that. However, if you don't want to go through that route, that's the premium route, then you can simply say, right, do you know what? I just want to be a member of your community in that trading room every day, get all of that theory, and we're just doing it at a special offer price at $797. I think it's plus VAT. So if you're outside the UK, then I think it's just $797. And that still gets you 6 months free access to the live trading room as well. So this is your chance, really, for those people who aren't already as part of our community, really to just embrace trading. Stop making those excuses as to, oh, well, I'll think about this, or I need to consider this, this, and this. You've simply got to take that step, and if you're then going to be committed. It's really just down to you and how much you want it. Like I've had to go through, and Kim had to go through our personal journeys with trading. We didn't have the ability to have online trading rooms then, whereas people do now. But I've sort of just wanted to demonstrate with that personal story, and then with that training that I've done recently, just to show that it does require some discipline, but also some determination as well. But we can certainly help you with that. We've got a great community, and we want to benefit you. And whether you're new or experienced, you will have information worth a lot more than what we're charging you for it. We're trying to keep our costs low. So now it's your chance. No matter what your personal goal, don't put it off. make your commitment. You need to be committed to this, and don't use that excuse as to say, well, I'll walk away and think about it, and then simply become another statistic, because too many people say, oh yeah, I'll have a think about it, and I just think by the time you walk away, then you forget, and then it's tomorrow, then it's the day after. You're here, and if you're really genuinely interested in trading and trading seriously, we can get you there. Kim can get you there, myself, our other community members. We've got a great community. Easy Trader is going to get very big after the autumn. So if you want to be in the ground floor now, we want to have more traders. We've got Stuart, who turned 1,000 into 10,000 last year. We want to hear more and more of those success stories as well. And so not everyone wants to do that, but some people just want to make a few percent a month. But we're going to need more and more people, more and more successful traders as we go forwards in our trading room as Easy Trader gets bigger. And so we'd rather have people in now before the influx, so to speak. We can manage you all and have so many of you already at that experience or gaining experience if you're only just starting out, but certainly by the latter part of the year have gained a lot of experience and knowledge, so that you can then help other traders as well. And you get so much from helping other traders. That's the biggest thing, and you learn a lot from that. Anyway, so and this quote actually from Sean, which was I still think is a great testimonial, because he doesn't talk about how much money he made or anything like that. This testimonial just really summed up, I think, what Easy Trader is about, and saying that the techniques are excellent in themselves, but I can't thank us enough for the focus upon the psychology of the trading, which has had a massive impact on his trading. Because we do talk about all those things within our trading room as well. We just had a really good conversation, funny enough, this afternoon about the events of yesterday and how different traders would have suffered and had frustrations as a result of that. Whereas with us, then everything has to be methodical, a nice, very straight and an easy approach. So I thought he summed that up very well. But anyway, that's where we are. That's where I am at the just under 12-month phase, and we'll see how I get on over the next year. And what I am intending to do with this account is, once I get it to 100,000, I am going to see well, if I want to take it up to 500,000 or even to 1 million. But I'm not going to try and do that in the space of a year or something like that. I'll do it over a period of a couple of years. Oh, no, 2 or 3 years most likely. But it's just been a good exercise in demonstrating what can be done. Yes, I've had to gear up a little bit, and normally on my own account I have it geared down, because it's a large enough account where I don't need to be trying to make 300% in a year on it, and it affords me the lifestyle that I have. But as a test to do this, as a demonstration, it is being good fun. And when I say gear up, I mean I'm risking what, 2% on some trades now. A lot of trades I'm already back down at 1% risk. So it was more geared up, highly geared in the early phases, and I've started to lower it because I know I don't need to be doing 300% next year. Anyway, that's where I am. I haven't even taken a single look at any of the comments boxes, so I guess we should have a look at that now. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to scroll back, because I can see that there's been a lot of comments as I'm going through here. And but if you've got any questions at this stage, this is the time to ask a question. So by all means do so. So I've been talking for about 45 minutes. Dennis has asked, he's bought the day trading package at Christmas, but he hasn't gone into the trading room yet. Is there a deadline? No, there's not, Dennis. You let Sam know when you want to come in. Thomas, yes, it was 3.3% body fat. Right. Adam, let's just say that Adam swore at the transformation. I can't actually repeat what he said, but he said "Holy Moses," I think is what he said. Okay, so the steroids, Adam, come on. No steroids. It was purely all dietary and training. It was very, I mean, the trainers that I had were, some of them are ex-Olympic athletes, so they know how to get the best from the body. Right, okay. Adam, they work with any age group. Yeah. I'm 41, so you're not that much older at 49. Right, okay. So I'm just having to try and scroll through this at the moment. Okay, someone's asked if I was interested in participating in, you get these online brokers and things now where I can, as I take my trades, then other people can automatically follow my trades and they'd be automatically triggered in. Vinny, no. The reason not, I don't want that, is because that sort of thing may work for swing trading when you've got wide stops, but when you're intraday trading, if all of a sudden there's a lot of positions, I put my positions on, and then I already have to be careful on my intraday trades, as it is with the sizes that I use. Because then, if there's all of a sudden I've got 100 people or 500 people, however many it is through these sort of sites, who are all having their accounts triggered into trades with the same stop losses as well, then the markets can be attracted to those stop losses. So no, I wouldn't ever do that. Oh, okay. Hi, Carl. Right, yeah, Carl's asking, how did I decide how much I would risk on each trade? Yeah, so like I said, I set the boundaries, Carl, with at the beginning saying, look, if I need to do 500% a year over the 2 years, essentially, certainly in percentage terms as from the starting amount, then I'm not going to do that necessarily on 1% or risk per trade. So I set that out. So remember back at the original webinar last year, I said that I'm allowing myself up to 5% on some trades. I'm trying to think. Yeah, well, I'm totally in agreement with you, Carl, and maybe you put that question in. He's saying about money management being so important, and maybe put that in before I'd finished my presentation. But money management is totally, and like I said, I only had an 8.4% drawdown across the board, and the reason I can do that is because I can chop and change. I was not going in at 5% but 5% risk per trade on every trade. It's only on some trades that I was going up to that, and now I'm sitting where I'm really at a point where I'll trade up to 3%. I don't need to trade any higher than that. So. But even then, I'm not trading up at 3% on every trade. That's not how I do it. I'm a discretionary trader. I use my discretion. To me, when I've got what I think are the very best quality setups, then I might go in up to 3%. But it's only when I'm feeling I've got everything lined up, basically. But there's so many trades you take as a trader, and a lot of you guys will appreciate this. You don't have everything lined up. There's still a valid trade setup, but you don't have the heavens and earth all lined up symmetrically, so to speak. So, but there's still a standard type of setup, but I just wouldn't go up to 3% on those, or 2 to 3%. So I do vary it, Carl, from trade to trade. But you're absolutely right. Yes, money management is by far. That's what I was saying in my story beforehand. It's all about risk. It's about having that discipline to not go and overtrade too heavy. So, and trade relative. And what I mean by that is, if you're risking, let's say, up to 2% or 3% on your trades, then you've got to trade within a framework there. So that's what I'm doing. So what I mean by that is I'm not going on 2% on one trade and 1/10 of 1% on another trade, because if I do that, that trade where I'm risking 1/10 of 1% may actually end up being a nice trade, but I'm trading it so low relative to some of the other trades, the disparity of risk from trade to trade is too great. So yes, I vary my risk, but I'm not going to go from 2% to 0.1 of 1% because there's too much of a disparity. And that little winner is never going to pay for a loser if I go and lose 2%. It's all about the risk, and the risk to reward as well to me is so important. And so I'd say because the risk to reward is reasonable, some of my trades I'm getting 1 to 5, sometimes more than that, risk to reward. So risking 1 to make 5. I mean, this is the sort of stuff that I do, and so they can make a massive difference. If you've had a couple of losers, they can make a huge difference because they pay for the losers so quickly. Right. Do you make, Mohammed, do you make calls made in the trading room? Yes, the trading room we do make trade calls. I have to emphasize this. The trading room, we've always said, is a educational room first, our day trading room. But we do call trades practically every day. I don't necessarily every afternoon in the afternoon session, but I do when there are trades to be had. And sometimes I'll be calling swing trades, so it won't be necessarily day trades, but I'll be calling swing trades. So yes, we do call them, and that's part of the education. But to us, what's important is the fact that we're teaching as we're going along as well, and showing and demonstrating as well our thoughts and philosophies on these things. Okay. Okay, Dave. Yeah, just email Sam if that's what you're asking. Adam, that's very nice of you to say that. But Adam's saying he's got a bevy of teenage girls who want to know where you live. That's very nice, but I don't really want to go to prison, and I don't think my wife would be that happy either. Right. Okay. Jeff, yes, my account is simply utilizing the strategies mentioned on the CDs. Yes, it is. So it's mostly the momentum stuff, some of the stuff on the day trading discs, and the finer points as well, which is everything that you would get. Yes. Elvar, how much is access to the trading room for old members? Oh, I don't know, Elvar. Email Sam. I know Kim and I. Sam's the operations director. Kim and I haven't got a clue. Yeah, email Sam and she can get you back in the room. Gary's talking about the Forex show. Was not impressed with the other trader. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Do you make calls for the trading room? Okay, you already answered that one now. That was Mohammed again. Why do you use CFDs instead of spread betting? Ah, Chris, well, it's Forex, not CFDs, but I do spread bet as well, Chris. I have Forex accounts and I have spread betting accounts as well, so I mix it up. I like having different accounts at different brokers for obvious reasons. When you're trading with larger six-figure amounts, then I like to have them split up. Is it relevant to anyone who can't day trade, Mohammed? Yes, it is, because the strategies can be applied to swing trading. So yeah, I would say so. Rebecca, how long did it take you to go from 15% to... Okay, I was 15% when they took the shot, when they took that photograph at the beginning of December. I'll admit that I had eaten a lot of cakes and pizza in the 4 weeks prior to the shot, because we had to do it just to sort of, show me looking a little bit more out of shape. So normally I probably sit around about 12 prior to that, so I was a little bit more plump at that point anyway. But really, we really kicked it off right at the beginning of January, and at that point I was about 12% probably at that stage. So really it was from the beginning of January to the end of February. I did it in 8 weeks. It was really committed, really committed. It was, no weekends, no going out for meals, nothing. There wasn't a single bad thing past my lips over that period. Anyway, Darren, how do you work around refer to dealer? I don't know what you mean. Oh, okay. If you're getting requoted, probably find another broker, Darren. But I'll come. If you explain a little bit more of your experience, then I can maybe be able to help more. Okay. Yeah, good point. Alan's asking, there's a theory that if winning strategies are used by more and more people, then they stop working. Is that a risk with your strategies? I always think our strategies are quite well protected, Alan, because what can I move this? Oh, I'll just leave it on this slide. They're quite well protected because different traders are going to be using them at different times of the day. Different traders are going to see different things, and different traders are going to be trading different markets because everyone's going to have their own little things that they like. So we have, for example, people trading these strategies, but they may trade them on the Dow or the S&P or on gold or on oil or on Forex. So they're quite well protected in that way, Alan. We would need to have thousands and thousands of people before there would be a problem and or potential problem, and we don't. It's okay, we don't. We have enough people using our strategies, but nothing that would affect it. Okay, Mohammed. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, as a full-time job. As when you make profits, I find they block your trades, especially scalping. Oh, okay, Darren. This is okay. Yeah. If you're spread betting, Darren, and you're scalping, then yeah, brokers will start to requote you. Yeah, they'll do that. Yeah. So basically, don't scalp if you're trying to spread bet because they'll just slow you down and start requoting you. That's what they'll do. Order form shows that if ordering from Australia, is it VAT free? Yeah, Chris. Once you actually put your address in, then it recognizes that. So once you actually fill it in, then it recognizes that you're overseas, and then it doesn't put the VAT on. Yeah, so you have to fill it in first, and then it'll be fine. One of the posters on sale, Adam. I'm feeling a lot of male admiration from you this evening, so it's very kind of you. Either that, or you've got a great sense of sarcasm. Can you just put the pick up for you at 3.3% again? I want you to show my partner. Okay, Anthony. Hopefully you're still there. Okay. People are more interested in the photographs of that than the trading. I put that up to demonstrate the. There you go. Is that one okay, Anthony? Okay. All else being equal, skills. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't like this because this is really hardcore. I mean, I was working out the day. I purposely dehydrated on the day of the shot because I was asked to dehydrate. So basically drink very little on the morning of that, just to make it more vascular. So I wouldn't normally be that veiny, but the main veins are there on the biceps and stuff. But some of the other small veins that you can see wouldn't normally be there. But yeah, that was that. And that's less veiny, that shot, as you can see there, so that's more normal, the before and after. Anyway, hopefully that's done it for you. How much of your trading is down to intuition? Oh yeah, good question, Jeff. I like this. I want to say I've missed one here. All that's been equal, skill, discipline, etc. Are day trading returns much more than swing over time? Peter, that's a great question as well. All things being equal, skill, discipline, day trading returns much more than swing. The advantage of day trading is that you can compound more, Peter. So if you do get to trade once, twice a day, and you're risking 1% capital on each of those trades, and let's say you're making 1%, I don't know, whatever it is, but let's say on a daily basis you're risking 1% and you make 1%, you take one trade a day on average. I'm trying to think of a scenario now, but let's say you're compounding at 1% a day, 20% a month potentially, whereas on swing trading you're not going to be taking those trades as regularly, but you're still only going to be risking maybe 1% on your swing trades. So yes, your day trading can compound more. The difference with the swing trading, however, though, is that usually on the swing trades you can get bigger risk to rewards. So the swing trades can make up for the lack of the maybe not trading quite as regularly, but you can get big risk-reward trades on. And certainly, yeah, I can get some big ones on the swings. Sorry, Jeff, go back to you. How much of your trading is down to intuition based on years of experience? This could be extremely difficult for a newbie or some exactly, or to come anywhere close to your results. Jeff, I wouldn't expect a newbie to come close to my results, and that's what I'm saying. It takes time. You can't, like in any profession, I talked about this in the previous webinars, in any profession you wouldn't expect to be a professional or proficient at your profession without, you know, maybe going to university or years of growing experience. And it's exactly the same with trading. You can get to a point where you can make some money and get some consistency. To do what I'm doing, yes, it's going to take a good few years, I would have thought. You can be fast-tracked, but for most people it's going to take them a good few years before they can get to that level. But everyone has to start somewhere, and it's a case of building experience, developing that thick skin, so that you can then shrug off little losing phases, and then also deal with when you're having a really good winning phase as well, because that can be dangerous. You have to handle winning as well, and so and that's why we're here, because we've got that community to be able to hold people's hands. Oh, Sean. Oh, Sean was the guy that we used in the test. I used that testimonial there, saying it's always nice to hear you speak. That's very nice of you to say that, Sean. I'll pay you later. Thomas, you have 12% body fat, and I thought I was fit. Right, okay. Well, you are. Okay. Chris, yes, the methods used for the trading this account, are they the same as the course? Yes. Thanks for your exposure. Oh, okay, Alex, and learning curve. Right, good. I arrived, Martin, late to the webinar. Where the account is at the moment? Oh, I've covered that. Right, okay, you must have been late. Yeah, it's up to I've done up 375%, Martin. I've already done the run through, Martin, of the account. It's now at 38,000. So that's where I've got it to. I'm trying to get through these as quickly as possible because I know that time is ticking. Okay, I've already answered that question. Yeah, some people have put the same questions through twice because it's taken me a long time to get through them all. Okay, Dave. Okay, do I need to call the phone now to join, or can I join through your website? You can do it through the website, Mohammed, or I wouldn't really phone right now because it's late for Sam. But Sam's there, UK time, anytime, normal sort of UK hours up through to what, sort of 5 p.m., 6 p.m. I guess. Thanks, Joyce. Always nice to see you. Always. Adam's still being comical, like that. Did your HAAS diet affect your concentration on trading? Do you know what, Irish? I would say that it helped and improved my concentration. I had so much energy as a result of that diet. I was jumping out of bed at 6 a.m. and I'm not a morning person. And actually, since finishing the diet, my body started to revert back to being sleepy in the mornings, not wanting to get out of bed. So I think that I was actually sharper. I would get tired. Literally at 10 p.m. I was ready for bed, but then, I'd flake early. But then I was waking up early as well. So, but no, it certainly didn't affect the concentration of trading. Yeah, okay, Adam. Yeah, good for you. About time you made an effort. Yeah, in the body work regards, I think you were talking about that. Darren, yeah, we've covered that now about your requotes. Thanks, Adam. Another great webinar. Some of the magic words off on my own. Oh, good, yeah. Fellas, I've got to log out. Okay, Dave. Yep, okay, good for you, Dave. Sorry to go on, but any chance you can do a silver analysis soon, please? Irish, I'm so sorry. I know that's on our Facebook page. And I've not got back to you. I've been meaning to speak to Kim about it, actually. I'll speak to Kim about it maybe tomorrow, because Kim will be good at that. But yeah, we'll get something done on it. What broker do you use to go in the challenge? Where are you getting standard? Where are you getting standard? Well, Kieran McCarron, I was Yeah, I was using a straight FX broker, but even with the spread bettors these days, their spreads are pretty keen these days. So it's not really making too much difference. Derek Bromance, yeah. Okay, right. Please can we see the before and after photograph? Amanda. No, we've done it now. Right, okay. A lot of trading systems are dependent on market condition. Yeah, you're right, Alan. When they're developed and fail as market conditions change from when they're developed. Are your systems impervious? Well, they are, Alan, because what we do with ours is that we're using multiple market, multi-time frame analysis. So they're not just a curve-fitted system per se. So that's the big difference. And because we teach that element, that final layer of discretion, and that which is to me is so important. So yeah, absolutely. Peter, do you know what? I don't find day trading stressful at all. No. So no, I do a mixture of both swing and day trading anyway. So I'm in favour of both camps. But no, I don't find day trading stressful. And again, people think that it is, but it's not. It's again, if you do it correctly, follow a methodology, use your stops, use your targets. And if you're confident in your setups, then there's no need to be stressed about them. Oh, if you're scalping, if someone's saying if I'm a scalper and spread betting companies don't like it, who can I recommend? It depends on what markets, Sunil, that you're looking to trade. So you'd have to tell me what sort of markets you trade. Average risk to reward on a day trade, Rebecca. Yeah, it varies actually, because some people have inverted risk to rewards on day trading, and that can work quite well. But I would always say that if you can get around about 1-to-1, anything beyond 1-to-1 just makes it a little bit more comfortable. But certainly there are strategies that work with inverted. But if you can get to 1-to-1 and the other side of 1-to-1, then that's good, because you can have a win rate of 60-70%, and if you've got a 1-to-1 risk to reward, then you're making some decent money. Peter Warner. Oops, sorry, Peter. Yeah, we're releasing a swing trading strategy literally next month. He's asking, are you releasing any swing trading stuff? Do I need to call a phone now to join? I think you've already asked that. I will answer. Excellent, well done. Oh, okay, righto. Thanks, Martin. Okay, Irish. So me going. What was the diet, Andrew? The diet was lots and lots of vegetables and lots of chicken and fish, white fish plus oily fish like salmon and chicken. And loaded with vegetables, so pretty much 4 to 5 times a day. So carbohydrates I'd have at lunchtime, sweet potato or a little bit of brown rice. But I'm sitting on my butt. If I was a builder, I would need to have more carbohydrate in my diet. I'm sat down. I go and train, but carbohydrate once a day was more than enough for me. A lot of people get it wrong in that they have too much carbohydrate in their diet. So yeah, in essence. Are the strategies on the CD synopsis of pre-existing strategies that have worked for you, or have you compiled themselves over time on your trading? Yes, Alan, they are all our strategies that we use even to this day. Some of them we use less so now, but we cover all that off for you once you've got all of those, which ones you should focus on. Okay. Oh, we're getting there, guys. Is Kim similarly buffed? We'll get some photographs out to you, Adam. An hour ahead of you guys. Yeah, oh, Andy's gone. Oh, Alan. Oh, blimey. Bit despondent to bloody more. Yeah, there's obviously some problems there. A chap there is saying he's lost a substantial amount, actually. So, yeah, there's obviously something very wrong there to blow that. Yeah. Okay, Scott. Oh, good to see you. I'll reply to your email tomorrow, Scott. Gerard, I don't know enough about them, so I couldn't really comment. Do you know strategies for swing trades but larger time frames? Do you use yes, Barrett, I do. I use the likes of the momentum for higher time frame stuff as well, and the bands. Yes, I do. No processed food, no. Oh, okay, Dave. Dave, if you continue to have any problems with that, because if maybe you're overseas or whatever, just call Sam tomorrow, and I'm sure she'll be able to help you. Darren, yeah, exactly. Deadlifts, yeah, squats, yeah, that's the stuff, isn't it? It's the stuff, yeah, kings are made of. When you day trade, do you set stops and targets and forget, or do you chart watch? Alan, obviously I set stops. It depends on the strategy. Some strategy or the setup. Some setups I need to be there because I have a moving target. So I might be using something like a moving average as a target. You see, whereas others I do just set and forget, so to speak. So it varies. Thanks, Adam. I see your account. Yeah, do you particularly recommend them? Alan, as regards to that account, that's one of my accounts. That account, you need to be putting a fair amount of a volume through. So you need to have a minimum of 25,000 in order to have that account. I've got obviously accounts with them. So it depends on how much volume you can do. Oh, Darren, I will. Yeah, I'm not going to stop doing all the training. I was doing it before anyway, but yeah, I won't stop. Legs it was today, Darren. I was doing squats myself today. Anyway, yeah, yes, Mike. Mike, yeah, very nice to see you here tonight. Yeah, see you in the room.